Hi everyone. So I tried to talk about the state of the world a few times before. Somehow I could never quite get my thoughts, my opinions, and my points down the way that I wanted. But here we are, here we go, we're trying this again. Maybe it's because the world in 2024 is just that complicated. Trying to break it down feels a bit overwhelming. Even trickier is figuring out how and why we ended up here. To me, it's pretty obvious that a big reason we're where we are today is the rise of technology and how it's woven itself into every part of our lives. So I was born in 1998. I was lucky enough to experience a chunk of my childhood without phones, tablets, YouTube, or Instagram constantly in my face. Those didn't really hit until I was about 13 or 14. Back then, the world felt slower, and my family seemed more connected. People actually spent time talking at the dinner table, playing outside, and actually being present with one another. Now it's like we're all living in this digital haze where every interaction is filtered through a screen. Everywhere you turn, people are glued to devices, scrolling, tapping, refreshing. And it's not just the younger generations. Grandmas and grandpas are hooked too. The line between the physical and the digital worlds is blurring, and it feels like everyone's attention is splintered. We're constantly bombarded with notifications, updates, and endless content. And let's be real, how often do any of us fully disconnect? Even when we're with loved ones, it's like we're half present because there's always this pull to check what's happening online. If you run into someone without a phone, it's almost shocking. You wonder how in the world they're getting by. It's funny to me because, not too long ago, none of us had this kind of instant access to the internet or computers in our pockets. People were more patient and more present. They had to be. There wasn't this constant pressure to keep up or stay in the know. Now everyone's fast-paced and we expect instant gratification all of the time. We've become a society that's addicted to speed and convenience, but at what cost? Sure, tech has connected us in some ways. It's made information more accessible. It's allowed us to stay in touch across distances, but often it's through something superficial and fleeting. We like each other's posts and send quick texts, but are we really connecting on a deeper level? Relationships have become more transactional, and there's this weird irony that the more connected we are online, the more disconnected we feel in real life. I can't help but wonder what would happen if the internet just shut down. Not for a few hours, but for good. Would there be mass panic? What systems would collapse? Think about how much of our world depends on digital infrastructure. Banking, communication, transportation, even government operations. We're so dependent on it now that imagining a world without it feels impossible. Would we remember how to function without constant connectivity? Or has this always-on culture rewired us to the point where we've lost something essential? Our ability to just be still, be present, and really engage with the world around us. Technology, however, is just one piece of the puzzle when it comes to the state of the world in 2024. There's a lot more going on beneath the surface that led us to where we are. For one, we're seeing a world where division is at an all-time high. It's almost like people have become more polarized in their beliefs, more dug in, whether it's politics or social issues or just daily interactions. Everywhere you look, there's tension, whether it's between countries, within communities, or even within our own homes. And let's talk about the spiritual side of things. Of course, y'all know I was gonna get into this. It's undeniable that we're witnessing a clash between good and evil playing out in real time. On one hand, more and more people are seeking something deeper, looking for faith, trying to find purpose in all of this chaos. On the other hand, there's a blatant push toward a more anti-Christ agenda in the culture around us. You can see it in the media, entertainment, and even in global events. Take something as big as the Olympic opening ceremonies that just happened this year in Paris. They used to be about unity and showcasing the best of humanity. Now there's a darker undercurrent with symbolic imagery that's anything but uplifting. The media and entertainment industry are pushing narratives that feel more worldly, more disconnected from any sense of morality or truth. Entertainment itself has shifted in a huge way. It's like the soul has been sucked out of movies and music. Everything's become so commercialized and formulaic. You can feel it. Music doesn't hit like it used to. Movies seem to lack the depth and creativity that they once had. I came across a video of Matt Damon explaining how modern movie budgets have changed, and it makes a lot of sense. Back in the day, DVD sales allowed studios to take more risks in storytelling. But now, without that cushion, everything has to be a guaranteed hit. That's why we keep getting bombarded with sequels, reboots, and shallow blockbuster films that don't seem to have the same lasting impact. The music industry is no different. With streaming platforms, artists are pressured to pump out quick hits rather than focus on albums that tell a story or have staying power. It's more about chasing trends than creating something timeless. You can feel the difference when you compare today's content to what we had a decade or two ago. It's like we've traded in creativity and quality for quick clicks and viral moments. All of this ties back to where we are spiritually and culturally. The quality of what we consume reflects the quality of the values being promoted. And right now, there's this overwhelming sense that the world is drifting further from truth and deeper into this hollow, surface-level existence. There's a hunger for something real, something with substance. But it's getting harder to find as everything becomes more noise and less meaning. It seems easy. Get off the phones, get outside, tap into the real world. But what really is going on in the real world? And is this something that we want to tap into? So let's break it down. First off, the climate is in serious trouble. We're seeing wildfires, floods, and extreme weather more often, and it's not something we can ignore anymore. Some places are trying to go green with renewable energy, but others are dragging their feet, still stuck on fossil fuels. The clock is ticking, and people are starting to feel the urgency. Then there's the issue of how divided everyone is. It's like people can't agree on anything anymore, whether it's politics, social issues, or even everyday stuff. This division isn't just happening in one country. It's all over the world. Everywhere you look, people are arguing, and it's getting harder to find common ground. AI and automation are also shaking things up. Over the last few years, they've become a part of almost every industry. Sure, they make life a bit easier and open up cool new possibilities, but they also come with downsides. People are worried about losing jobs, and the gap between the rich and everyone else is growing because, you know what? Those who control this tech have more power. When it comes to health, COVID was a huge wake-up call. It made us realize how fragile the world really is. We're more aware of global health threats now, but the uncertainty still lingers. We're all just trying to adapt to this new reality where a health crisis can change everything overnight. On the economic side, power is shifting. Countries like China are becoming more dominant, and there's a push for nations to rely less on each other and more on themselves. That sounds good in theory, but it's leading to problems like rising prices and disrupted supply chains, which are affecting everyone. Social justice movements have made a big impact, raising awareness about things like racism and equality, but at the same time, they've also deepened cultural divides. The conversation around identity, whether it's race, gender, or sexuality, is still front and center, and it's influencing everything from politics to entertainment. Global tensions are rising. Conflicts between superpowers like the US, China, and Russia are creating uncertainty about the future. And the mental health crisis is growing as people feel the pressure of modern life. Stress, anxiety, and loneliness are at an all-time high, affecting people of all ages. On top of all of that, we're in a culture where attention is everything. Social media and streaming platforms have turned everyone into content creators, where getting views and likes is the goal. Trends come and go faster than ever, and it's hard to tell what's real from what's designed to grab attention. The things we see online shape our views, creating echo chambers where people mostly hear what they already agree with. In 2024, the world feels both more connected and more divided than ever. We're racing forward with technology but losing touch with each other in the process. There's a lot of noise, a lot of distractions, and a lot of people searching for meaning in a time when it feels like everything is up in the air. The real challenge is figuring out how to stay grounded, find what really matters, and connect in ways that actually make a difference. As for me, I find the most comfort in my faith. Having a relationship with God, staying in tune with His Word, and recognizing what's already been predicted brings me peace. I've learned through my own experiences that there's so much beyond our control. Letting go and taking each day as it comes has been a practice for me. It helps to understand that there's so much we don't fully grasp, that this reality only goes so deep, that there's more beyond all of this. And knowing that God is in control is what keeps me grounded. What will be, will be. All we can do is our best and trust in what we can't see.